for coming. So now, a very interesting topic we have behind here. It's Code10 CI Accelerator. They will explain more, but this is our base. All the experience that we have in integration, we have put here in this product, but it's more than a product. It's our methodology, it's our way of doing things. So Antonio and Jakub will explain to us how we do these things regarding migration from the IPO to the cloud. So please welcome Antonio and Jakub.
Thank you. Okay, before we start, I want to say a few words for the Boomi colleagues. Thank you very much for coming here. We really appreciate that you are here with us. I have to say that I think between you and me, we have how many years of experience in integration. And we see that Boomi is a really, really nice platform in order to do integrations with SAP. I think a lot of customers, they are in the situation that they need to face, and here we have a lot of integration architects that they need to face the migration from PIPO, or they have a new challenge in the integration. And honestly, I think it's worth to take a look to Boomi. So I invite all of the ones that are interested to contact us. We can arrange something with Diego. We can prepare specific demos, see the points of the product, because I think it's worth it. Sometimes the integration architects, and I'm looking here to someone, they want to see how you build an interface, no? How you connect the system.
Get dirty hands, right?
Exactly. Put the hands in the mode. So we are inviting everyone that is here, or maybe is not present, but they are back in their companies, to do a session. You can be done in our office. I'm sure that Boomi will offer the office as well, or we can do it remote, whatever, or we can even move to do that session. And we prepare. We have S/4HANA connected in our office with the last version of Boomi for SAP. We have a Boomi tenant. So we are more than ready to show you all the capabilities of the product. And again, thank you very much for being here.
Next topic, right?
Next topic. Yes, this is moving. Don't worry. This is the last topic of the night. Then we will go for some drinks and some food. But for us, it's one of the most important topics of the night. No? Code10 CI Accelerator. And you see all around that we have these banners, Code10 CI Accelerator. What is this? I think a lot of you know this. We've been working with Code10 CI Accelerator. We released it like almost 4 years ago, 3.5.
Yeah.
And but let's explain us, Jakub, please, why Code10 CI Accelerator? Why we are talking about this?
What's the motivation? I think that we can say that necessity is the mother of invention, right? So we have system SAP PO. This is a famous on-prem integration platform, but in some years, with nostalgia, I will look into it when it will be sunsetted, right? At this moment, we are in 2020. We are at the end of the 2024, right? And we can still use the standard maintenance, but come on, it's like 3 years left before end of the standard maintenance, right? For next 3 years, we can still use the extended maintenance with a little bit of extra money, but I mean, sooner or later, it's coming to the end, right? And I believe still there will be like some customers who will wait till customer-specific maintenance program, like which they will not make on time to finish the migration, right? But yeah, that was the motivation for the creation of the CI Accelerator, right?
It's important to mention that each step, it will include extra cost of the actual licensing.
That's right.
So, okay, we need to migrate the PIPO. We need to do some integrations. But are we really want to move our old integrations point to point to the cloud? No matter if it's Integration Suite. Boomi is the same case. No? We don't like the idea of moving all this old technology and all the school integrations into the cloud, because the cloud, it has something more to provide. So our mission is to refactor this, but to refactor this without much pain. Okay, we want to generate, and this is our vision where it comes, the integration architecture for the future, isn't it? So for that, you can imagine, we need to have a plan how to execute this. And when it comes, the Code10 CI Accelerator. So Code10 CI Accelerator is more than a product. We have our own methodology that is very important to execute the projects of integration with a proper methodology that guides you in all the process and minimize the risk for the business. We have tools in order to speed up this transition, tools developed by us with a lot of years of developing in order to build these tools. But we need to have governance of the system. The system needs to be a modern system with proper governance of it. So let's go a little bit dive into the methodology. Assessment. Nobody wants to hear this word, no? It's like we are going to pay for an assessment of a migration. SAP offers an automatic assessment, but we don't use the automatic assessment. This is one of the biggest mistakes. Assessment is one of the most important phases of the migration project, because in the assessment, what we will come is with a proper estimation. So this requires a deep dive into the system and look for the pain points. If we do a deep dive assessment, we will have readiness checks. Are we ready? Can we move all the interfaces to the cloud? Do we have something in our PIPO that it will be not possible to move and it will imply either a redesign or either change completely the logic? Probably yes.
I will address this topic a bit later.
Yes. Then we have, doing the assessment, an early risk detection. Okay, we will identify, okay, this is not like come here and shoot, and do the migration. No, we will detect the risk and we will take some measures and some actions in order to minimize. Early detection of the risk, we all know that is the only way to minimize them. But also, moving to the cloud will imply some infrastructure changes. And we need to give also time to our colleagues, or basis colleagues, or infrastructure colleagues to adopt these things. No? The easy case is that we will not longer exchange files into our on-premise systems. No more NFS connectivity or FTP. No? And we need to change some infrastructure inside our companies in order to address these changes. So, at the end, what we will provide in the assessment phase is no surprise, with the time and with the price. Okay. The next important part of our methodology is how we execute it, and we believe that the best, and it's what we've been doing with different customers, the best methodology that we have here is a wave execution. So we divide all the scope in different waves together with the business. No? So we start maybe with a not very ambitious wave because we need to verify the new infrastructure, because we want to give senses of confidence of the new tool, because start small to grow bigger. No? And then we divide the rest of the integrations into the different waves. So this is based on Roman Empire methodology, no? Divide and conquer. No? Let's make it in small chunks, and we will be able to conquer them all at some point.
It's like eating the elephant, right? You have to eat by small pieces, right?
Yes, I agree. Good example as well. Also, this wave execution will reduce the risk. At the end, these migration programs or even new implementations, what it's about is not impacting the business. No? So dividing the interfaces in small waves, we will reduce the risk in multiple aspects. We can speak 1 hour about how migrating just small interfaces reduce the risk. Yeah. Again, all is related with the business impact. We don't want to impact the business. Our biggest achievement is when somebody from the business say, but we already migrate to the cloud in integration? I thought that we were going to execute this project in the next 6 months. No, it's done. And another important thing, not only for us, but also for our customers, is that having waves and overlapping them, it will allow us to have dedicated teams. We will have team developing, and then we will have another team testing. And when the testing team is testing, the development team is continue doing the integrations for the next wave, and the testing is for the other ones. And when we go live, they are all happy. This overlapping of waves increase the project speed. So having everybody busy, not minimizing the gap times, it will end up increasing the speed of the project. And we believe that, and we prove it ourselves, that this is the best way of doing the execution of the project. But our methodology is not only for the assessment or for the execution. It has, for me, probably the execution is the less important part. It has another very important part together with the assessment, that is the handover. No? So why handover? First, the wave execution allows us to fulfill a philosophy that is always together. When we will implement and we will go live with one wave, we will be doing the second wave or the third wave, and we will be there with you. So if after the handover process, you will have us still around, and we will talk for sure about the problems. Still, this doesn't mean that after the last wave we will run away, no. But the sense of having them just doing the same project, having some common meetings, it will make the life easy for our customers to ask some questions that they maybe will arise. Also, important part of this project is that we need to do a training and an enablement. We have customers that we do the AMS later on, no? But it's important to show them as well the tool and the capabilities. What you can do with this tool, how you can do it, no? So they understand the things better. So even then they rely on us in order to continue doing the AMS forever and ever. But we believe that it's very interesting that they know what they get, they know how they get it, and at least they know what's going on there. All these methodology tools and so on are connected with our Code10 Live Watch for the customers that we do the AMS. So this is our smart AMS server that, as Sergio explained, it saves the level 1 and sometimes the level 2 of support. No? And everything that we build, it provides alert and error handling. This is important to mention. Integration Suite out of the box does not have any error handling or any alert mechanism. So, together with the monitor that we are going to present, it composes the handover part of our methodology. That is equally important. So let's go and let's deep dive from a use case. No? So what others do, no? Because we've been doing integration projects since long time, and Integration Suite since very long time. One of the first ones. So we have the lack of participation in implementation of very large enterprises, and I want to highlight very large enterprises. A very large enterprise has a lot of resources, and normally when you start a project with a very large enterprise, and I know that here we have some colleagues from Code10 that they are still working on these environments. We do like 6 months of preparation for the project, no? Just to start the migration project, just to start. And why 6 months? And sometimes even more. Because we do proof of concept of every different challenge that we will face. How we will solve error handling, retry mechanism, how we will solve this other scenario. So, at the end up, a lot of companies, they build blueprints of each integration type. We need to build an example of an EDI case because we want to be sure that we are able to send this message here and there. But then we will migrate what we have. Now let's build another case for integration with Salesforce. Let's build. And they start building blueprints all across. And all this preparation phase can take 6 months, it can take 8 months. But not all the customers, they can dedicate 6 months only to do a preparation of a project. So in some cases, this ends up in a lack of discovery of the tool and not having an architectural planning. So at the end, we hear sentence like, PIPO was better. This monitoring is horrible. I cannot find any messes. Or this tool is not ready. Why we migrate it already? It's not true. It's not true. But what we can help here, no? So as we say, we did a lot of projects related with Integration Suite, and we get all this knowledge and we pack it together, and we create a product in a old-fashioned box, like Windows 95. But it's to represent what it is. No, this is a real product. It's a methodology, but it comes with a real product. So all this knowledge is packed there, all these blueprints, all these proof of concepts, or how to do the things. But not only that, it was not from one project. It was the evolution of doing multiple projects and learning one detail from here, another detail from the other one, and we include them. And it's alive. Every 6 months we do a new release with new functionalities. So this is the way that we have to do a democratization of the know-how. Because having a product, having everything wrapped in our knowledge and in tools, it allows us to spread the knowledge and to do the things in the right way. So at the end, we believe that the formula of the success is based on having a strong methodology and tools. And the tools are Code10 CI Accelerator. So, summary. Code10 CI Accelerator speed up and accelerate the transition to the cloud for greenfield implementations and for migration of PIPO. But the most important thing is that, or I believe that is the most important thing, is that this increase the quality of the developments, the quality of the integrations, and the governance of the tool. No? And I really want to say it again. The most important point is the quality and the governance. Speed, it can take 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, but then you will live with these integrations the next 20 years. But this is backup for SAP as well. So very recently, we finished all the paperwork and all the demos with SAP, and we got the validation as a validated partner use case. It will be published in the Business Accelerator Hub in the moment that we have some time to fill all the marketing thingies. But here you see the validated part. So with this recognition, SAP validates that the way that we have to do this kind of projects, they completely back up. Okay? And we will see, and you will understand why SAP validate this thing, because it's not that they are validating this thing, it's that they are copying this thing. Okay? So how we deliver this? Okay, this is important to understand how we deliver this part. So we enter in the tool part. No, we cover the methodology. I think everything is clear. We do activate methodology. Yep. But how we deliver the content, how we deliver, the acceleration or the tools that we use. No, so we deliver this into 2 separate boxes, and we deliver this into 2 separate boxes because SAP asked us. So the first part is an add-on. Okay, we call it Code10 CI Accelerator add-on. This is content of integration, and this is to speed up and to improve the quality of the integration that we are going to migrate, build, or whatever. And then we have the Code10 apps. Code10 apps are CAP developments using the Pro Code that our colleagues were talking before, in order to add extra functionalities to Integration Suite, in order to create a new monitor, a new dashboard for integrations, a mechanism to have alerting of the certificates that they are going to expire, to make the life easier for the people that are maintaining the system, but also for the people that are developing over there. So we build a lot of apps that they can be deployed even in integration suites that they were not configured by ourselves in first instance, because they are compatible with the methodology and the pipeline concept that the SAP is developing. Let's first start with the add-on part. That is just a price information. It's for free. We give it for free because this is a democratization of the know-how, and in all the projects that we do, we don't charge for this. because again, this speeds up the development of the interface and the migration. So nobody wants to waste time, no? Not us, not you. So we divide this add-on in 3 pillars. Integration patterns, I believe that is probably the most important one. Monitoring and alerting tools, and toolkit. And here, I bring Jakub to explain us a little bit about the integration patterns. So can you tell us a little bit of a story about the patterns?
Absolutely. So what was the reason for inventing the integration patterns? We've been working for one of the customer from the US, the retailer, and we basically had very tricky and difficult and heavy integrations, and that led us into the performance problem. And we had to decide how to solve the problem. And now let's get back a bit for the reason why customer are waiting with the migration. What are the most obstacles that customer are thinking that I don't want to migrate? The system is not ready. Integration suite is not mature enough. I'm missing some functionality. So we get to the we spoke with many customers, and we noticed that most of them have the same. They struggle with the same problems, right? They tell us that, like for instance, that there is no alerting, because in the integration suite there is no alerting out of the box. There is no support of exactly once in order. I will talk a bit more, right? This is right. There is the message monitoring is not good, right? Before in PI, the message monitoring was much better, right? Customer believes that they maybe perhaps can get some like a wizard from SAP, which will like a magic wizard that they click just start, next, finish, and all integration are in the they will go magically to the integration suite, right? There are also some elements that are like custom adapter modules. The custom adapter modules, there is no such concept in the integration suite, so they cannot be definitely migrated in the easy way. But of course, they have to be rebuilt, and we can do it, right? So of course, in PI there were automatic restart of the messages, which is non-existing, right? It's not there. And for
imagine how it is calling to a third-party supplier or whatever, and saying, "Hey, can you resend the message because I had an error in the integration, but I cannot restart it myself. You need to resend it again." That's the concept of cloud integration, no? So all these things that we had in PIPO is what that is slowing the transition to integration suite, because they detect some problem.
Yeah. And one of the problems that I want to address during this presentation will be the lack of the support of exactly once in order. But now let's jump to the next slide, which is the async communication. And maybe this slide looks very complex when you look at it. Maybe just don't look at it. I will try to simplify it. Like we have four like swim lanes, right? And in the asynchronous processing,
sorry, Jakub, I think it's better if you tell it like a story.
Maybe like a story, all right? Like, I mean, we had for customer, we had like challenges to send complex messages and a high number of messages for the stores, right? And it took a lot of time to process the message. Perhaps we did some also not the best development, right? But we learned by mistakes, right? But we just stepped backward and we decided to introduce layers in order to simplify the topics, like the same concept, like divide and conquer. So the first layer is the decoupling layer, which is basically responsible for like receiving the message, like you send it and I'm receiving it and it's done. This is the whole responsibility.
sorry to interrupt.
No worries.
Look, the reason of this, why we have different layers, is because Integration Suite, how it works is that they open a connection. No, like there are some people that are not technical here, so it's easy to understand, like going a little bit easy. So SAP opens a connection, sends the message, and meanwhile it's processing all the way there. The connection is still open, and then
The resources
it closes with a
busy,
false
right.
acknowledge.
Exactly.
So all this time, the connection was open. So we have a car system. They had, I think, only in US, 4,500 stores.
Yeah.
And the people were buying in the Black Friday like crazy video games. Okay, you can imagine which customer we are talking about. So the number of messages, it was incredibly high, and we need to do a lot of transformations because they have a really old POS systems, and we need to transform it to SAP car. So we were keeping open the car connections for a long time, and this was causing a really troubles, not in Integration Suite, in their SAP systems. So what we decide is, hey, let's implement something that when we receive a message, we say, okay, we received the message and we close the connection. That's the first layer. We close the connection and we move it to the next step. The next step is to decide what we will do with this message. We will do this mapping, we will send it to this receiver or not. The third part, the third layer, is the mapping that we do, the transformation itself. So basically, after you apply the model, I need to do an asynchronous communication. Let's download this pattern from Code10, install. You only need to develop that transformation. And the fourth layer is exactly the same, to dispatch the message and close the connection. So both sender and receiver are not waiting for the message. This was the beginning of all these things, isn't it? We developed this asynchronous communication pattern for exactly once 4 years ago, 3.5, 4 years ago.
Exactly.
And SAP copied this
Into the
pipeline concept. They use 5 lanes, not 4. They decide first which receiver system will get the message, and then which mapping will be executed. But